Mac Buckley here with the UCCS Athletic Network. Here we have head coach Lynn Plett of the women's basketball team. Hey, Coach, we just talked a little bit, but, finished practice this week. What are you looking forward to most this Friday night game against Regis University?
It's kind of a situation where we need to save some face a little bit because we don't feel like we did as well as we could have done when we played them the first time at their place. So it's one of those games where I think our players are pretty focused on playing a lot better than what they did last time and making up for some of the mistakes that we made, hopefully, and hopefully just even to score a little bit and win this one as opposed to losing the last one.
And taking a look at it, you guys played each other a while back in that conference season. Now just, I would say, kind of coming into a new dynamic as a team overall just at this point in the season, taking a look and seeing how much of a defensive focused Regis team is, and your team is also being so defensive focused. How will that play into effect on the court, do you think, on Friday night?
Well, we're trying to be defensive focused. We don't necessarily always accomplish that on the court, but I think they understand what they need to do. We talked a little bit there. I think really maybe more of a tempo challenge than anything else too, because they're very good in the half court offense. They run their half court offense exceptionally well. Their frontline players are really good offensive rebounds. I think they're number one in the conference in offensive rebounds, and so that'll be a challenge for us too to really try to hold their guards in check. They really went off at the 3-point line against us at the last time, and so we need to be a little bit more aggressive on our defensive end as far as taking the threes away, and we also need to make sure that then if and when they do miss those shots that we get the defensive rebounds. So those two aspects are probably the biggest things that we need to focus on defense.
Definitely, Coach. I mean, they are right now, really high, second, I believe, in the first, in the conference for those reboundings, like you just mentioned. But seeing how, that intensity that you've been trying to implement defensively, seeing how that's been able to, spark the offense, we've talked a little bit about that. Looking at field goal percentage and three-point shooting, just rankings in the RMAC, right now you are first in the RMAC from those three-point shootings and third overall from field goal shootings. Seeing how that has, the offensive success really just coming into play and really helping the girls out there as far as making those baskets off of those defensive steals. What's going to be the difference as far as that guard play in this game?
Well, I think it'll really be on the defensive end. If we can limit their good looks on the perimeter and not let them get any nice set shots off their penetration and then kicking it out for the 3-point shot. As long as we can really challenge those shots and make them think twice about shooting those threes, I think is going to be the biggest key for us on that side. We, even though you said, like you mentioned, that we're number one in the conference in 3-point shooting, we're not that far ahead of everybody else as far as the percentage goes too. So it's more about us being selective on our shots and incorporating our inside players and our outside players together. And so I think that's one of the areas we haven't been on quite in sync as much as we'd like to be with the inside-outside stuff that we've had. We've turned it over a little bit too many times from trying to throw it inside. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, our post players haven't been as aggressive as sometimes at trying to score when they do get it or kick it out in sometimes too. So that's kind of what we've been working on this week in practice. And hopefully, if we can get back in sync a little bit that way, I think that'll help us a lot too.
And Coach, I was just about to, talk about that offensive strategy, just, with those post players having that success, with that inside-outside play that, you just talked about, going to piggyback onto that. How will that be an advantage as far as knowing the guard play from Regis, but their rebounding? How will the, advantage of those post players, knowing that you have those four that you've been able to rotate, will that be coming into a factor as far as in the game against Regis University?
I hope so. That's the plan, at least, is that will be something that we'll be able to utilize and stuff too. But they have some strong inside players too, obviously, and so it'll be a challenge for us, obviously. And so I think the key part of it is which team is going to come out being successful in playing their style of basketball. If we have difficulty and they're successful at running their half-court offense, which they do a lot of ball screens in the middle of the court, and their point guard, who's very good, can create offense for them. If we allow that to happen, it could be a long night for us. On the flip side, if we can shoot the ball well and we can get up and down the floor and transition fairly well, I think that'll help us too.
Last weekend, your team was on the road, faced Regis on Saturday night. This weekend, they're facing them Friday night. So thinking, you're going to come out fresh, ready to go. One of those players on the Regis team had a heck of a night. 40 points, unbelievable there. So knowing that you have players that can also have those kinds of nights as far as scoring-wise, what's going to be mentioned this already, but what's going to be the difference as far as that defensive strategy? Are you I don't want you to divulge too much as far as secrets goes and game planning, those kinds of things, tactics-wise, but are you honing in on any specific players as far as trying to stop them, contain them from what they did against you last time you faced them early on in the season?
Well, I mean, there really aren't any secrets. It was she made that Church made that pretty clear that when you score 40 points, that kind of takes all the secrets away. So it was pretty obvious where their strength was in the game that we played them last time. And again, they're very effective. Their three guards in particular on the perimeter are very good scorers. Can shoot from the perimeter and can also get to the basket. So that'll be a challenge for our backcourt. Our guards need to do a really good job there. And then again, as I said earlier, we can't just rely on that and not take care of the other business, because if they miss those shots, their post players and their inside players are really very aggressive at going and getting the offensive rebounds. They do a really good job of I think knowing their roles. It looks like, at least from my perspective, that their guards they're really there. They take the most number of shots, and they set their offense a lot for that. But then the posts seem to really recognize, and their forwards recognize the fact that, how we contribute is by getting the offensive rebounds and putting it back in. And so I think they're good at understanding their roles. And so we need to do the best job that we can on that. It's not like there's anything that we're really changing that much drastically. We just need to do a better job what we were trying to do last time.
Well, thank you, Coach Plett. Mac Buckley here with the UCCS Athletic Network. There you have it from head coach Lynn Plett of the women's basketball team with the pregame interview before the game against Regis University Rangers on Friday night. Coach Plett, thank you again so much for your time, and good luck on Friday.
Sure. Thanks, Mac.